Let's go.
All right. So I welcome you all to the second day of Pink City Design Confluence, Form, Reform, Transform. The Confluence seeks to create an interface between education and industry sectors to debate on how design technology education can be leveraged to support the emerging economies of the world. This is our second session of with the theme Creativity 5.0. So we have three presenters with us for the session who are definitely going to give us an enriching experience. We have with us Professor Bhargav Mistry as our moderator for the program. Sir is an educator and a product designer. He is Dean Design Culture with Arch College of Design and Business. Over to you, sir. Just one last thing. All the presenters will have 10 minutes in all, 7 minutes for the presentation. 3 minutes, we'll take up question and answers. Okay.
Thank you, Deepshika. Firstly, once again, am I audible and visible? Or do I need to raise my voice?
The voice maybe a little bit. Video is perfect.
Should I raise my voice? Okay, I'll do that. I'll try and balance it out. But once again, a warm welcome to each and everyone here, the prominent panelists here who are going to share with us some really exciting work in the world of creativity and how we can possibly bring about some innovations for a good change. And a warm welcome to all the viewers who are with us. And we look forward to a very engaging session today. So we have with us from different parts of the world Mr. Haru. Of course, his name is Hideo Ugarry, but he loves to be called Haru, so I would like to call him Professor Haru, because we've done a lot of work even in that direction. And then Haru is is with us from Japan. And which part of Japan, I'm not too sure, but should I say Tokyo? Right. He'll tell us when his turn comes. And then we have Helen Rogers. I am assuming, Helen, that you are speaking from Australia. You're mute.
It's mute, Helen.
Helen, can you please unmute yourself?
I have, and I'll just let you know that I'm coming from Scotland.
Scotland, right. The University of Highlands and Islands. I really love this name. The way it goes, the way it flows.
Very close.
Yeah. Highlands, not low, sorry. Highlands and Islands. Yeah. And then we have the distinguished speaker here, Dr. Nanki, and who has done her. She is an ex-NID graduate, the National Institute of Design in Hyderabad, and having pursued a doctorate in color in IIT Mumbai, right? And
Yes,
currently she is
Thank
with
you.
IIT Guwahati. Anyway, once again, a warm welcome. Now, there is no specific sequence that I can currently think of. Dipshika, are you saying something?
I'll check.
No, sir.
There's no specific sequence that I have in mind, but as the sun rises from the east and sets in the west, shall we proceed with the researcher from the east, Haru? Would you like to? I'd like to invite you to open this session on with your paper. So over to you, Haru.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'd like to share the screen. Okay. Can I see my slide?
Yes.
Okay. So I would like to start my presentation, and thank you for having me today. I would like to talk about bamboo charka and laptop charka, portable spinning wheel as open source project. My name is Hideo Oguri, but just call me Haru. About myself, I'm a design engineer and I founded Human Tech Lab, which is creating...
Could you be a little louder, please?
Okay. Human Tech Lab, which is creating equipment which support people's simple life and bring out human ability, such as laptop charka and fitness generator and table type solar cooker and universal wheel to reduce the number of the cars. What is bamboo and laptop charka? They are portable spinning wheel made of bamboo or laser cut wooden plate. Everything is in this one bamboo pole and assemble the internal component like this. And this functions as a portable spinning wheel. This was in Maker Faire Shenzhen in China. Also, this has a hank winding function like this. So the yarn can be wound on the wheel like this. And then remove the yarn from the wheel and make hank like this. So one laptop charka can make the thread from cotton and hank. Why did I make them? Basic needs for human are food, housing, and clothes. So charka or spinning wheel formed yarn and life. So the charka movement was a part of the independence movement led by Mahatma Gandhi, aiming to revive self-sufficiency and create jobs. During the charka movement, the famous box charka was born through a kind of design competition. But nowadays, how many of us know how to make our clothes? Sewing, weaving, spinning, and seed. Especially in Japan, many people positioned as consumers have already forgotten how to make these things. When people forget how the things are made, they lose respect for those who made them. But if you try to make even a tiny thing with your own hands, you will feel closer to how the things are made and become interested in it. So I participated the box charka spinning workshop, but some beginners, including me, had some difficulties. Their feet had gone numb. Although they wanted to practice slowly, but they couldn't. The speed control is a little difficult. On the other hand, bamboo is a very valuable material. In Japan, material for various daily life tools, just like the bamboo basket. But they are already replaced by the plastics. Compact and easy to use design, plus locally available material, such as bamboo, I created bamboo charka, which reforms cotton spinning to fit with today's charka using lifestyles. Safety, no metal protrusions, the spindle is made of bamboo or wood stick. Ease of use, learning opportunity and portability, and hank winding function. I had a cotton spinning workshop at my Indian friend's house, office, and event venue or meeting room, etc. in India, Japan, China, and Korea. But I found that thin-walled bamboo suitable for bamboo charka is not available in some areas. This right photo shows the thick-walled bamboo in India. But thin wooden plates, such as MDF, medium density fiber board, are available in many regions, assuming the modern logistics system, also the laser cutter. So laptop charka transforms traditional tool to open source hardware, connecting digital fabrication and handicraft, global open source community, and local artisans. Laptop charka is a wooden plate version of bamboo charka. No metal, no glue, and safety protrusions are covered. I had the opportunity to make laptop charka at Maker Fair Shenzhen 2019. I made some charka at the venue of the Maker
You have
Fair.
another 2 minutes left for your presentation.
Okay. Then I uploaded the 3D CAD model, laser processing data, and assembly instruction. I uploaded them to Wikifactory, which is a social platform for collaborative product development. So license is Creative Commons BYSA. So people can make or remix, modify this laptop charka and sell it as a small business. Comparing to the box charka, the bamboo charka or laptop charka is lighter and compact. And in terms of the durability and performance, traditional charka is best. But considering the mobility and the digital fabrication, the laptop charka is best. So further plans, I'll try to improve 3D CAD model for laptop charka. And I created this bamboo laptop charka by receiving energy from many people. I would be delighted if this open source project make the people rethink making things and interacting with the tools. Share ideas globally, make things locally. This is the change I wish to see in the world. Thanks.
Wonderful. This is really inspiring.
Thank you.
Very inspiring and so beautifully crafted using even modern technology. And
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now, we have, I think, 3 minutes for questions, if there are any. And if there are no questions, maybe I have certain queries. Are there any questions that you have?
Not yet, sir.
Now, as a design, this is a wonderful thing that has been created. a laptop chair, which you just, it's so portable, so beautifully crafted, safe, using sustainable materials. Now, the whole reason for making a three-pointed charkha is the Gandhian philosophy, self-sustaining, doing things, good karma, doing work, and even while you're just, you just need to spin a wheel and do it, and you create hands of prayer. Now, to really make it effective, is there anything which in the design which evokes people a desire to do so? Otherwise, people may just take it as a piece which is on the tabletop as a craft, but something which excites people, especially the youth of today. So I was just wondering whether such things have been kept in mind. The emotional angle.
Yeah, so I hope this laptop charka inspire the people to make things, modify the laptop charka, or start spinning cotton. Yeah, so that kind of inspiration I hope to give the people.
Yeah. And the second is the maintenance, because such things also would require maintenance, which the person himself or herself can repair or put it back in order, because this is fragile.
Sorry, could you repeat your question?
Yeah. So does the design that you made allow for quick repairs, maintenance, because it is delicate?
You mean how to repair the charka?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Good question. So in case of the bamboo charka, the repairing work is not very difficult because basically the bamboo is very strong material. And in case of the laptop charka is made of MDF, as I said. MDF is a very soft material. So if the moving component, like the hole and the shaft, if they worn out, maybe they need to replace some components.
Yes.
But it is not very difficult because laser cutting work does not consume a long time. Instantly, people can make the replacing parts.
Interesting. Yeah. And last, I know Dipshika is going to apply this, but she's going to say, time. But lastly, how much does it cost?
As you know, bamboo is very cheap if the material is available in the region. But laser cutting, it depends on the, how do I say, the cost of the tooling. So if you have a machine in your college or fab lab, probably it is not costly. But if you need to use some kind of the laser cutting service as a business, it is depends upon the how do I say, the laser cutting service company. Yeah, it's a kind of the difficult part.
There's a question from Dr. Nanki. We'll take this as the last question. Could the bamboo charkha be useful for the bottom of the pyramid section of the people?
Yeah, so it is one of the motivation for me to make this bamboo charka. Yeah, so it is one starting point to get some kind of the job or small business. Yeah, to create or help the people. That is one of my motivations. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
Mm.
Bhargav. And now I've been flying from east towards the west. Let's go to India. And shall we have Dr. Nanki with a presentation, please?
Yes, sir.
I think I've already introduced you, right?
Yes, yes, you have. I'll
If not,
directly
you
go
can
to.
just very briefly say that yourself, so no errors.
I will simply say I'm a design teacher and love teaching design. And I think practice part of design really helps us develop our pedagogy. So that has been a constant inspiration. I'm now sharing my presentation and look forward to your questions. So, yeah. Everybody can see my screen?
Yes.
Great. And I hope I'm audible. Okay. So this was a time in 2016 when, as Bhargav sir has shared, I was teaching in design department at IIT Guwahati. And the best part of the department was and has been till date that it's multidisciplinary. There have been industrial design faculties, visual communication, interaction design faculties, as well as faculty members from ergonomics. So along with one of my colleague and friend, Dr. Urmi Salve from IIT Guwahati, we came up with this idea to invite faculty members from across India, somewhere around 10 to 12 design schools and engineering schools, and merge our understanding of visual ergonomics. So visual display design, ergonomic needs, and how can this become a course, a short-term course under a funding scheme that IITs give. So there are knowledge incubation centers in each and every IIT. And as a faculty member, as you begin your career in your early career stage, it's actually a good exercise and a training in order to conduct a miniature 3-day national workshop, which is almost a conference. So we invited these 15 participants were there, who we invited from different design schools and engineering colleges. And the participants got opportunity to learn from particularly my section, which I'm touching upon because there were different short-term half-day sessions. So my session was covering colors in visual display design, and they got an opportunity to learn about colors. So the short-term objectives were to make them understand color in context of visual displays, study examples that I'm just going to share with everybody here, and analyze the use of colors with respect to color principles that were discussed as part of the session, as well as give presentations of those. So the course objectives helped the participants learn, and they shared with me that the knowledge of the science of colors, along with certain psychological inputs that we could analyze as part of the case studies, would really help them in visual display. An understanding of possible influences could be the future, like many of them gave the feedback that how can cultural associations be associated with science? And then ergonomics could be relooked at, because ergonomics are scientific facts and principles. But then another layer of meaning is needed in order to completely understand color from design language perspective. Participants also shared that they learned and applied different ways in order how to wield color in fashion, in interior, in graphic design, as well as interactive visual display systems. So we'll go through all those forms and combinations, but this is in a nutshell briefly about the workshop. So this 3-day workshop invited everybody. They stayed in the guest house of IIT. They came to the design department, and the course content had all these different workshops that you're seeing on screen. So my focus and my session was to orient them on the science of colors and the principles of visual perception. through the case studies of visual display design that were part of the session. So initially, it all started with a think aloud session, mind mapping of where all color is, and color is in the art. It's the most effective non-verbal communication. All of us are having this background right now. I think needless to say, color really impacts us in a beautiful way. Color science, all of us know, the color wheel and the schemes and the relationships really go in a long way. Many a times we compromise on these basics, but it's actually the basics that lead you to the innovation aspect of your designs. Color is also in cultures, and the best part of being in India and living with this culture for long, we all see these festivals around us that really make up our visual world and our visual culture. Can that come to the display design aspects? Also, not only that, color helps us connect through prayers with the people around, and really it touches us in different ways that we never knew it would. And we tend to think of those aspects of life, even as part of our disciplines that we must take forward and we must work towards. So such color definitely is for social impact, as is currently in our prayers at this very moment. Color is plural, and from this this entire mapping of where all color facets could be, we actually saw that each and every hue is not in isolation. So color is plural. The moment somebody says that color is a particular singular language, perhaps it's a half-hearted analysis.
Ma'am,
And each and every
your
hue,
5 minutes are over. You have another 2 minutes left.
I will. I'll quickly
Okay.
run through. I have taken representative pictures. Yeah, sure. So taking this forward, many interesting case studies were discussed. There were 2 faculties from ergonomics who discussed the IBM color language. And the IBM color language is interesting because it's not only RGB, it came with, the source was the 3 regular colors, but then intelligent color identity was applied to visual displays, which is very much relevant considering screen resolutions, multiple sizes, accessibility, so on and so forth. So what, along with the participants, we decided to do as interesting and exciting activity, we thought of dividing 15 of them into 5 groups. And these 5 groups are the names that you see on your screen. So so the first analysis of the case studies included contrasts, to vibrations, to visibilities, to oppositions, to harmonies. And the first group of contrasts talked about color blocking in visual arts, yellow being the most interesting in terms of the sensitivity wavelength, and it has varied uses in interiors, fashion, displays around us. So these were the case studies that they discussed. Not only that, innovation happens through this particular color, and there are many such packaging examples in which you'll see yellow becoming actually a block that represents a product feature. So aesthetics combined with technology and usability weaves out so beautifully through color blocking as a technique. And these days now in image processing, special codes are developed. Yeah, special codes are developed to take the identity and the visual designs forward. I'll quickly run through. Please give me a minute. Color chromostereosopsis is a very interesting technique in which red, green, and red, blue combinations are scientifically understood and then applied to different systems, from information displays to sound displays and all that. CMOS image sensor, most of us who are photography enthusiasts know that the color image really comes out in a high contrast and a beautiful way, not only in terms of visual acuity, but also visual clarity. And then there are certain optical effects that wallpapers, interactive graphics, all those are using from time to time. As consumers, we get into those display systems which have low blue light tech because it keeps your eye healthy. And why not take this to the next level and devise systems for environments? And there were some certain such more ideas discussed. Intelligent colors are not only on screens, but also in interiors. It's actually very much in trend, but then how can this be utilized for people who are at the bottom of the pyramid were certain ideas. And I'm just summarizing all this that was discussed from color graphics that are used in conferences and events like these. So there was one case study of In a Planet of Our Own conference that one of the participants had discussed at that point of time. Again, as far as the third group is concerned, they were discussing on technologies which actually are a game changer of conventional ways of color displays to something which is more color enhanced, and that makes communication much more powerful. In the same league of thought, green light innovative open signs really catch our eye and they make the business work. So the color language should also suit the business and the business requirements equally. Reverse engineered views, we have the dark color themes and all. Can it become part of many other systems and visual display units, perhaps for healthcare and all, in more innovative ways? So those were the discussions that happened. And then in brands, in packaging, you have effective complement of similar harmonies. And these harmonies really play a role to break the competitive edge as far as products and brands are concerned. So how I see now this short-term course, it was just a quick 3-day national workshop and my session along with my colleagues. But what I see is what was missing was the cultural aspect and the grassroots level needs, and touching upon that, maybe some frugal needs that we were missing out on, and concentrating on that in order to take this course forward. I would love to have your thoughts and feedback for this. Sorry, I hope I'm not beyond time. Sorry, yeah.
Thank you, Nanki. Thank you for a very colorful presentation. And
Ma'am, if you can please stop sharing your screen.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not too sure if there are any questions yet, but if not, I have some curiosities to.
Okay, sir.
Any questions, Nitrika?
None from the participants. We can ask the fellow panelists maybe.
There is one curiosity at least I have, is that in the modern world today, we are splashed, our perception is splashed with two types of colors. One is the emitted color, the other is the reflected color. Right?
Yes.
So the reflected color, as I see in devices, and emitted colors, which are reflected as in the natural. But is there any visual ergonomic difference?
So definitely, as well as the color science is concerned, there is a visual ergonomic standard that is there, considering the wavelength, the science of wavelengths and all. So that is there, that is very standard. We have been studying this. A lot, historically speaking, a lot was talked about as far as the science of colors is concerned by Johannes Itten. So Johannes Itten talked about that. There have been experiments on the tactile aspect of colors that you're talking about by Joseph Albers. And definitely, as far as my being a designer and a practitioner as well, I feel I agree with your point. There's a lot of innovation that, the tactile and the surface graphics side of needs, we have done less. I would say those were all the Western scholars. But in the Eastern aspect, if I'm to look at such experiments and such case studies, I will fumble. Though I will completely agree with that. So I think perhaps this is a great starting point, because what we have now in the East as well as West is, this entire knowledge of science at the intersection of design and technology. And we are sharing, like here, all of us are interacting and we are sharing. So perhaps like in the Indian land, especially Indian designers can take leads from it and develop such experiments and studies. Yeah.
Thank you, Nanki. Any questions from anyone else? Helen,
Haru has one question. Yeah.
Yes.
Would be useful for
or
us.
if you want, we can always have an interactive session after the.
Sure, sir. Sure.
So now the flight goes further and lands probably in Scotland. And We have Helen from the beautiful University of Highlands and Islands. And she's going to talk about what we are doing right now. Blended learning is the online part we are at the moment. But Helen will throw more light on this through her research paper. Welcome, Helen.
Thank you very much. I'm going to share my screen if you would allow. I'm hoping that we can do this straightforwardly.
In case you are facing any technical issues here, let me know. I will share on your behalf.
That would be very kind. For some reason, it doesn't look like it wants to let me share.
Okay, I'll do that for you then.
That's brilliant. But you do have my presentation, so
yes,
I'll simply say slide whatever as we go through. I have no idea why it's not sharing. I would have to let everyone know we don't use Zoom in Scotland to deliver, so this is a new experience.
Right there,
And so,
I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah,
yes.
It needs to be. It needs to be on presenter. That's all. That's
yes.
Perfect. So the first slide simply lets you know the title, if you like, of my longitudinal research project. It's called Beyond the Obvious. And what I'll do is just say once and for all, my name's Helen Roger. I'm a designer. If you could stay on that slide just for a second. I'm a designer and a tutor. Beg your pardon, on the second slide, that would be better. I want to thank you for the opportunity for sharing my research from Highlands and Islands, the University of Highlands and Islands. Perth is part of the institution I work within, is part of Scotland's newest university. And we deliver courses from access level to honours, masters and PhDs. This longitudinal research project is undertaken to increase accessibility and widen access to design education. Would you like to go to the second slide? That would be brilliant. Thank you. So just to show that the university is not a bricks and mortar, as it were, university, it's made up of 13 different campuses which spread and look north. But we're all connected, as you can imagine, in the 21st century. Initially, most of the degree projects that were offered were very theoretical or related directly to engineering or computing. And I am aware that within art and design in the curriculum, that there are students and wonderful artists and designers who stay as far north as the Orkneys and Shetland, as Inverness and Aberdeen, all the way down to us who sit within. If you look just to the left of Dundee, that's where we are. So we're central and we look north to engage with a wider group of talented students who, up until this point, didn't have easy access to art and design education. So my research focuses on how technology-enabled learning can be used to achieve practical improvement outcomes amongst disparate and geographically separated design students. My research question really boils down to, what are the barriers and opportunities of using blended learning in a design environment within the UHI, that's University of Highlands and Islands context? Would using technology be good enough is where it boils down to. The research is situated, sorry, would you like to go on to the next? So this slide actually shows on the left, me on a screen as an early adopter being very cynical about, about whether technology would work within my curriculum area of design. I truly did not believe that it would be as powerful or as impactful as it actually is. So my hypothesis has been proved wrong, and I'm very happy about that. On the right-hand side is evidence of me as we are today on screen with Patrick, who's actually on Shetland, working through a concept that he's working on for an app design. And that app is now live, and he's also moved on to work in the workplace. So he's now a design worker within the creative industries. So how it started was as an early adopter. I did not believe it would work, tried and tested, and happily it does. Why would I even endeavour to try and do this? Well, in alignment with the World Economic Forum, 10 skills that should enable students to survive in the 21st century and further in the fourth industrial revolution, as it's called. Employers increasingly seek graduates who are digitally literate, not someone who can just simply put on a computer, but someone who can work remotely, work well, work professionally, but also work as an individual and within a team in collaboration. Would you like to go to the next slide? That would be great. This World Economic Forum Skills Outlook shows on the left what skills and graduate attributes the creative industries across the globe are looking for. And they include creativity, originality, and initiative. And all of these things can still be engendered through blended learning. And I would imagine and hope, because my research is ongoing, to include hybrid learning. What's declining appears to be the need for manual dexterity, endurance, and precision. That's up for debate, I would imagine, all of these other declining skills that the World Economic Forum suggests. But I find it interesting that complex problem solving, critical thinking, creative and originality, etc., is exactly what we are endeavouring to teach our students within the design forum.
Ma'am, I'll just interrupt. You have another 1.5 minutes left.
Okay, I'll be very quick. I think the ethos of what I'm endeavouring to do is plain, widening access, increasing accessibility, and given the growth of blended and online learning over the years, the question about blended and online for higher education is not if we do it, but how we do it and how it's implemented. And a question arises as to whether there's an optimum blend that could be shared with other institutions. So if you just go to the next 2 slides, that would be great. So my research is an evaluation of this phenomenon, and the way I evaluate is to work in an action research methodology by including myself within the mix. And basically the research reported explored the development of learner competencies in an online and blended educational situation. The learners created biographies that were recorded, and through repeated surveys and interviews, I analysed and used their narrative and used a grounded theory approach. So I live and breathe this research. It's not something that's disengaged from me. I tutor and I am involved in working with students across Scotland. What you see is a self-portrait of one of my very first candidates, Shona. She ended up with her BA Honours Visual Communication and Design with a first, and she worked in a blended fashion to do that. She stayed in Oban, lived in Oban, which is up northwest, and joined us in a blended approach, and was one of my very, very successful candidates as well. Would you like to continue on? actually the difference between blended and hybrid is really important. Hybrid, which is a new term that's coming up, does not assume that the student is either on campus or online. So tutors will have to be trained, and technology will have to be good enough to allow a student to transition between both a physical and a virtual environment. That's absolutely key. If I was just to say that in conclusion, that I have key findings and do find that blended and hybrid learning works within a design education forum. Students who opt to do it love it because it gives them freedom within their domestic life as well. They don't have to geographically move family, or it actually reduces the cost and carbon footprint of students. They don't have to travel or move their lives, as it were. They can actually engage in a community that is virtual, but also with the blend, they meet with students in a community on campus too. I'll finish at that and say thank you very much for listening. Any questions at all, I'd gladly take on.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's the world we live in today. We blended or we hybrid or any questions from anyone? Arun, Nanki?
Yes, I have a question I typed out for Helen, but Helen, I'll ask you. I would love to understand how can we optimize blend? You talked about optimizing blend.
Okay.
So would love to know it from the perspective, because what about architects and all who build buildings, and so how for them blend would be helpful? Yeah.
To optimize a blend, you must know your participant and student extremely well. If I was to say policymakers and management do not like this answer, but in order to optimize the blend, it has to be personalized to the student. And that's where a hybrid situation is absolutely crucial, so that a student can choose to engage with an online class or choose to come into campus when they please. That means, in essence, that we're running in parallel the course, and that can be deemed to be difficult. That's why tutors, new tutors are being educated, are being trained, as it were, to do this. It's almost like working, as it were, like this. It's like working in real time, synchronously, and having someone beam in. We actually do it already. Because of COVID, this has accelerated that understanding that people cannot always just arrive at the studio. Yeah. So
True.
we have put into place strategies that enable continuous engagement with the course. Of course, there are definite elements that need students to be face-to-face and in studio, on campus, in person. But it's that balance and blend to suit the person, to suit the student. So the optimum blend, in short answer, is it's personalized.
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. It's, I think, a way forward. One can think like that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I also have a question, if I can ask.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think of course, the blended is the new common, but do you think it is going to affect the psychology of the students to bring
Absolutely.
a balance?
Absolutely. If I was to say that through COVID, we actually in Scotland, for one sort of period of something like 3 months, were completely online. And the psychological impact on students we expected to be horrendous. And actually, whether it was because they had no distraction the work and the focus of the students was incredible, was positive.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I believe, just to finish, I believe that if it had gone on for much longer, I think it may have had a negative effect. Because people need to be with people. Designers are people.
Yeah, we had
That's a
a
good
negative
question.
impact here in India because it extended for quite some time.
Quite a long, yeah, it has been a
That's the key. That's the key, and it has to be on a student's request to be online, so that it suits their lifestyle and not imposed upon them. I think that's the key. If it's a blend that suits someone for their own whole holistic experience in life, it's very positive.
Right.
Thank you.
With everyone's permission, I would love to share one thought with Helen. Helen, I just realized, you know, with your such a wonderful sort of articulation of your idea, I think this model is really inclusive. We talk about inclusivity, you know, by using big words, but the moment it settles down in the basic human-centered need, that definitely in COVID, people will think of life first. So life is first, no, and life and living conditions are first. And then everything, in order to optimize blended methods and hybrid interactions, should start from that. So I feel it's a highly inclusive thinking, and there can be wonderful things that can be done ahead. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you for that. That's the motivation behind it.
Good. So, Dipshika, where do we stand in terms of your timeline?
Sir, official timeline is over, but since the next session, we have a little time left. If you have something to say, we can take that up.
Well, but no, today we really had a session with deep insights in totally different areas. From Haru's laptop circa itself, it's an amazing piece of creation, and which can, I'd say, inspire so many people to do something. Not just directly that, even innovations at this level. So it's truly inspirational, not just as a product itself, but even in a symbolic way. So amazing session. Likewise, Helena, this world that we live in, yes, we have. The blended and the hybrid learning is entirely dependent on technology. And the more we advance in that, the more we can even probably learn skills through online learning, like the way pilots learn through simulated cockpits without actually flying. Now, if this kind of at much affordable cost comes into our skills of operating machines or making Haru's laptop circa sitting here online, I mean, it will be great. But I'm confident times will come. And the colorful insights from Nanki, that was really good. And now I think we, at least I personally, will look at colors from a perspective. And thank you for your insights. Thank you once again for all the viewers and for panelists. And it has been a delightful session. Keep tuned in for the other sessions. I'm going to share with you. And stay with us all the way to the 16th of this month. Dipshika. And of course, the Pink City Design Conference has a lot of other activities also. So just keep track of that. Dipshika, anything to say?
Yes, thank you, everyone. It was really insightful. And like Sir said, the next session, it begins at 2:30. The theme for that is design leadership. So you all can join in for that as well. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Great to meet.
Thank
And
you.
look forward to the next confluence.
Yes.
Please keep doing this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.